I'll precursor it. I think Arsenal have had a good window. They've made some really good purchases, especially up front. The whole premise for me was getting the reliance of Saka in terms of attacking and getting a bit more impetus at striker, which they got with Gyökeres, who, again, we've had chats back and forth about, is he going to make it? Is he not going to make it? 3 games in, 2 goals against Leeds. You could say, some would say, not good enough so far, but others was a bit more patient. Chuck's a bit more of a harsh marker. I know I'm a bit lenient. I think he needs at least 10 games to see where he's at. Overall, like I said, if I was to rate their window, I'm going to go in probably with an A. I actually like what they've done, but coaching-wise, I think they're an F. So you got kind of 2 things. No matter who they buy, I think if they had Messi and Ronaldo on either wing, they're not going to win with this bloke at the helm either way. So for me, he's the biggest handbrake for him. But as purely from a window perspective, I'm looking at it now. The keeper, they've upgraded the backup keeper as I can't. Ariza Balaga. He's had
Kepa,
a decent.
just say Kepa.
Oh, Kepa.
Yeah.
He did well last year at Bournemouth. Zubimendi, say no more. He'll slot right into the starting 11. Norgard, he's there for backup. He was the Brentford's captain. I think that's a good purchase. Madueke, the jury's still out. He has flashes of brilliance. He has flashes of cold. I get it. I think that's maybe a question mark. I like him, but again, is he Arsenal material? Don't know. Mosquera, I'm a big fan of. We've been chasing him forever. We couldn't close the deal, but he's highly rated, so a good backup there for CB. Gyökeres, I'll let Chuck touch on it. Eze, I'm a big fan of. Does he slot in perfectly with Odegaard, Saka, Madueke? Yes, there's room for him. There's another option. I think he'll do well again. And I can't pronounce it. Hincape from Bayer Leverkusen. Again, solidified the defense. You got so much depth in defense. It's not funny. So besides that, no sales. That's the big conundrum for me. They've sold jack shit, to be honest. So that's a big problem. But anyway, Chuck, you can have another crack at Arsenal.
Hang on, Rick. Hang on. Before you give it to Chuck, you did say during the week you wanted to hammer Arsenal. So tell us how you really feel. You've been too polite now.
Yeah, it sounded like you're on the payroll. Like that was really
What's
nice,
going on?
Man.
Mark Aldridge.
No. My biggest concern with Arsenal is they're backing a manager that probably should be sacked, and I don't know where it's going to end up. And for me, I think my big call is Arteta's going to get sacked mid-season. I think it's
Jeez.
Wow.
Mid-season.
Wow.
I like that. I like that.
Early. Gone early, Rick.
Tell us how you really feel.
No. Well, they've spent. Look how much money they spent through. How much? 300 mil, 260, whatever it is. A lot of money to back someone that just hasn't got it in my books. My biggest fear is you get someone in that knows what they're doing, and then this team will explode. That's my biggest conundrum.
You know, the fact that you say, like, I think we all agree Arteta is the weak point for this Arsenal team, right? Mm. He came in there. He hadn't done anything other than serve as Pep's assistant.
Yeah.
Right. He did that apprenticeship. Look, he's done a good job to bring Arsenal back. Like they're definitely back amongst the mix. But when they were on the phone to Crystal Palace trying to secure Eze, they should have also said, "We want Glasner. Can we take Glasner off you?"
Jeez, there you go.
Because I think Glasner is a better coach than Arteta, and if he walked into that dressing room with those riches, he's already performed miracles with Crystal Palace, and he's on his last 12 months there. So look, we're talking hypotheticals. Arteta's the second highest paid manager in the Premier League. That will not be an easy sacking to do. I think he will be there for the rest of this year unless he misses out on Champions League. If Arsenal finish 5th or 6th and really flame out, he's on the block. But if he finishes in that top 4 spots, he'll probably get one more year. Like the hierarchy, the Cronkies, they're not going to pull the trigger like that. I don't think they will.
That window does not suggest Champions League happiness. That's winning title window.
Yeah, but Rick, I'll tell you something. We've spent the same the last 6-7 years. So this guy's got a lot of chances.
Yes.
He's had a lot of chances.
That's what I'm saying. How much can you back him? This is like another 260 mil. We're giving grief to Newcastle.
Yeah, but if you've got, like you said, if you've got Newcastle spending that, then you've got the other top 4 or 5 teams that are spending. Yeah. We have to keep up regardless of who's at the helm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've had multiple years of spending.
Yeah, but Newcastle have done this now. Arsenal have been doing 100. You're buying 100 million pound players. You know, we haven't spent that in anywhere on their player.
We'll get to Newcastle, but
that's fine. Don't worry.
But for me, you've got the biggest signs for me is you got Gyökeres, right? You finally have the striker. So if he doesn't fire, there has to be some punishment because that was his conundrum to say we've got no one up front. We can't win titles without a striker. You got that now. 3 games, he's got 2 goals. I think he needs more time, but others chucks a bit more harsher, which is fine. But he at least needs to score to win. You need 20. He has to do 20.
At least 20.
And we Saka out to, how long's he out for? 6 weeks? I don't know how long he's
6
out
to 8
for.
weeks. Yeah, his hammy's done.
Who's going to carry the can? You need Eze to step up. You need Madueke to step up. You got a bit more firepower needs to step up. Now's a real test period for you guys to work out how much you've actually improved. On paper, I think you've improved. But again, like Liverpool, that Liverpool game was pretty dull. Like the XG was
on
like
both
below
sides.
1.
Yeah,
Both sides, and Liverpool were at home too. So
so you can't really judge much to that.
It would be a different game at the Emirates, right? You'd think they would be a bit more open or more adventurous from Arsenal. Look, from Arsenal's point of view, I think they've had a good window. They've signed some really good players that have bolstered the squad, that have improved the first team. Yep. Eze's a really good signing. He's going to be putting pressure on Odegaard. I think they play the same position. So Odegaard, since he came back from injury 6-9 months ago, whatever it was, he's been lulling everyone to sleep. He's looked complacent. He hasn't done his bit. But unfortunately, he's also the club captain. So it's been hard to drop him. Eze coming in automatically sends a jolt up his, The problem is, I still don't think you've addressed the left wing.
Yeah.
You've made some Zubimendi, good signing. Like he's going to come in. He's an upgrade on what you have there. He's going to link up well with Rice and Odegaard or Eze, whoever. He ticks the ball over. He's a good player. Very expensive, but good player. And there's a reason why teams like Liverpool wanted him. So I'm very happy with that. Hincapié, the late move to swap Hincapié for Kiwior, that's gone under the radar. I like Hincapié, but he's done a lot of his good work at left back. So I don't know how many left backs you want to play in this team. You had Skelly there, who really showed so much Calafiori, but I'm saying Skelly really came of age last year. Like he was only 18. He looked really good. He bombed forward. He gave a little bit of width. You're going to lose that if you play, one of these other guys. So I don't know what you're doing there, but you moved out Zinchenko, which had to go. Overall, the squad has strengthened. Mosquera was a good pickup. Madueke, I think you could have got a better player than Madueke, but look, he will do a job. But the bar for Arsenal is title or bust. It's not, we need to get a strong team to try to win the Champions League, to win the Premier League. Well, you want to win the Champions League too, right? You're a big club. For me, the whole window hinges on Gyökeres. If Gyökeres comes out and he hits 20, 25 Premier League goals and he fires you to the title, then this window, in hindsight, this will age well and we'll say it's a good window. If Gyökeres comes out and gets 16 goals in the Premier League, 2 of which have already happened versus Leeds in a 5-0 rout, and you don't win the Premier League, this window isn't amazing because you're weak. You were only as good as your weakest point, and that was your striker. So if you had gone out and signed Isak, or I think Ekitike, who I think is better than Gyökeres, if you had got a better striker, the window would be seen as more favourable. But as you said, Jay, it's all relative. You have to spend to keep up with your opponents. Liverpool already had someone in the team who can blast 20 Premier League goals. They've gone ahead and added 2 other guys that can do it.
Yeah, a lot.
And one of them is a striker who can link it all up and make it happen. Who's Isak. He's ready out of the box. He's going to fly. That's your competition. Now, Liverpool have other concerns. They're a bit open and whatnot, and we'll get to that. But overall, Arsenal, good window. But I still have reservations about Gyökeres. He's going to, I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. But is he a 20 Premier League goal a season striker? It's natural for me. I look at the data. I'm going to question it because I've seen a long list of players who have got Golden Boot in the Portuguese league that have left and gone anywhere, let alone the Premier League, and they've just fallen off a cliff. That competition has literally 2 or 3 good teams. The rest of it's nowhere near Premier League level. I can go through the list of players that have failed. You've got Darwin Núñez is the obvious one. He looked like unbelievable there. He just, the Premier League was too much for him. You had Carlos Vinicius, who got Golden Boot in Portugal. He went to Fulham. Do you know where Carlos Vinicius is now? I don't know where he is. Jackson Martinez, one of the hottest topics a few years ago. Whoever signs Jackson Martinez, he's going to blow up. He flew away. No one knew what he did. So what I'm saying is you can't place too much credence on the goals that come out of that league. He does have the tools. He's looked okay in the Championship, But I had reservations before the season started. Away at Manchester United, away at Liverpool, he's done nothing to squash that. Maybe his fitness is a bit of a challenge, but he's really got to show me something after the resumption of this
He's
international break.
They're 2 tough games to start off with for a bloke just started. So it's very hard to kind of go into there.
Rick,
because
if Isak played in both those games with very little service, would have made something happen. I can almost guarantee you. He would have taken on a defender, pulled something, and he might have found a goal. Like, I know Isak would have done that.
We all saw what happened to Isak's second half of the season at Newcastle. So
there's rumours why that all happened. He gave up, right?
Anyways, so yes, I agree with Jay. I agree with Chuck. I think that's, for me, the jury's still out. He holds the key to. For me,
he's the key. He's the key to the whole window. Overall, the team got stronger.
Yeah.
You replaced some parts that weren't amazing with good pieces.
Yeah.
So the window itself was really good, but this is a cake. If you're going to give me substandard flour, and he doesn't perform, you can have the finest eggs, if the flour's not great, the cake ain't going to work.
But I think the problem with, if we watch the last game, Gyökeres was making good runs, but he just wasn't getting any service. That's the biggest issue there as well. I don't want to say too much about the Liverpool game because we had Saka out.
Yeah.
Odegaard didn't play it didn't come on until 30 minutes left. Saliba had an injury, so obviously nothing to do with Gyökeres, but going forward, but I just think it's a bit too early to be writing him off in the sense
I agree.
Because I'm seeing online that people are taking the piss out of him. He's got one yellow card, and then no shots on target or no shots at all. You know what I mean?
I just want my position to be clear. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a good player, but you need him to be a great player because you're coming up against a 3-headed monster who can they got 3 players that can score 20. 3.
Yeah.
If you don't have one that can score 20, you can't beat them.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. It's a maths problem. It's just a maths problem.
Well, the conundrum there is Liverpool's defense versus these guys' defense as well. There's the flip side to it. These guys are rock solid at the
back. We haven't had a striker the last 3-4 years. 3 years ago, we scored almost 90 goals or 91 goals. Last year, we scored about 70. But I'm just saying, even without a striker, we're still able to score, regardless of how it's scored.
If you want to talk about that Liverpool game, their weakest point was the right back. Okay, who was Szoboszlai. He was a makeshift.
Yeah, and Martinelli didn't take advantage of that.
Did nothing.
Yeah. That's the problem we have.
There's a game, if you can't take on a CAM, an attacking mid, and that's your direct position, like I know what Newcastle would have done. We did it. We went ballistic on the flanks versus them. We went as hard as we can against that.
He was man of the match, Chuck Szoboszlai, against you guys. He was really good. He played really well.
He did play well. But how open were they? How much did we push up against them? How much did we try to attack?
But Canada is not that good either. He's on.
Well, he should have been sent off. Anyway, that's another story. Like we got robbed in that game. But
anyways, Arsenal. What I'm saying is, with Arsenal, we still. I'm not going to write him off until maybe January time. It's way too early. I'm just saying because of what's happening on social media. He's absolutely copying it. Then you got Zesco. He can't even hold on to a ball. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to start. And you've got Gyökeres again. Look, Walter Messi coming through as well. I don't want to put him over Gyökeres.
Leave that to later.
I will. No, because we're talking about Gyökeres. No, I'm just saying. I'm talking about because you can only make comparisons against other strikers. You've brought up like Isak and Iketika, and I'm bringing up the other guys too. It's way too early to say. I know you're not saying it. You're not trying to write him off now. No, you're not. But
I'm not writing him off.
I'm just saying from an overall perspective, he still needs a bit of time. He's not getting enough service. That left side is impotent.
So if you're going to play Eze there, you've got no pace, and he's going to cut inside.
No, and then Martinelli's hopeless. So
that's my point, man. That's my point.
I think
so. Your window's been good, but
I'd say
you have a couple of holes.
Yeah, right? We do. I'd still give it an A, pending obviously Gyökeres.
I think we all agree it's an A. It's an A.
Look, we've signed about another 10 defenders, so I'm not even going to touch base on that.
I'm just a little bit more aggressive than Chuck. I just think this time around he's been backed severely again.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't in the title contention come Christmas after that, I think he's gone.
No, I wouldn't say
There's no top
Christmas.
4 for me. Christmas is a good indicator of what happens later for me. Like as in, it's half the season gone. If you're sitting at 4th and Liverpool 13 points ahead, I think you're in trouble.
Yeah, but that's okay. If he's sitting up 13 points is a
Glasner,
lot.
man. I would be looking at Glasner.
Yeah, but Glasner,
all
again,
three of our clubs, if we got a problem.
Glasner can be another Graham Potter, how he was at Brighton.
He's good. Glasner's
won the Europa League, dude.
I think he's
but
good.
hang on, no, but
anyway,
Potter,
it doesn't matter.
But I know, just using Glasner now as an example, Potter was excellent before he went to Chelsea, right? And he went to Chelsea completely. He went downhill. I think with the smaller team clubs, the managers coming through, it's a lot of pressure. So I can't say Glasner would be better than Arteta or not. It's just a massive hypothetical.
He did well in Germany too, Glasner, man. He turned gold dust out of rubbish. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
He's a good coach, Glasner, man. Anyway. That's the.
Anyways, besides the point,
topic.
Arteta. I'm not going to say Arteta will get sacked by January, unless obviously I'm not going to even say fourth, Rick, because that's way too early to be.
So what happens if you guys are 13 of 10 plus points away from the title? I think he's in trouble. They're not going to sit back and say, "Oh,
I don't think we sack him." I don't think you sack him.
Honestly, I don't think you sack him. It depends how far. Like there becomes a limit. If we're
eighth, if we're eighth, that's a different story.
Yes,
and we're struggling in Champions League. But if we're still in the mix, 13 points, whatever, that's still a lot. But
the only thing I will say to Rick's point, the only thing where it might lean towards Rick's side, your fan base is toxic, man. Yeah. If this guy doesn't start performing and you're about 7th, 8th, and your Champions League is not looking amazing, that crowd, that tension, there could be call to action. That's the only thing I can maybe look at Rick's point of view, but I don't think you're going to be that far off it.
I'll tell you something. Yeah, so I know what you mean. Yeah. I know what you mean, but when Wenger, the last couple of years of Wenger out, they never sacked him. But different ball game. But I'm saying I don't think they'll put pressure on
no money. Wenger was paying off the stadium. Yeah. This guy, to Rick's point, which I agree with, has been backed.
Yeah, hard.
1.2 billion pounds spent since your last trophy. Yep. That comes at a cost. Okay,
it does. No, I get that. No, I totally get that. But I'm not saying.
These are the clues I'm seeing, right? You got a new sporting director, right? He's proven himself this window. He knows what he's doing because that window for me is a good bloody window, right?
A good window, yeah.
So they've said to you, we're going to change Edu around. We're going to give you this guy. You've now got a team that should be theoretically competing with Liverpool, even though to Chuck's point, they've got 3 goal scorers. You got Gyökeres. I get the difference there, but in theory, you shouldn't be too far off the pace.
Yeah.
Come Christmas, if they're on, who knows what, 50 points and you're on 38, I'm telling you, they're going to be looking at him like, what the hell are you doing? Because that to me,
there's going to be questions.
You're not going to claw that back. That's 12 points.
I think the only part where me and you disagree with, while I agree with what you're saying, is that I don't think Arsenal will be that far off. So I think Arsenal will be
hypothetical.
The hypothetical here is that you're out of the 4.
That's with any club. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you can't I think you'll be at least in the top 4. If you're in the top 4, he's not getting sacked. In my view, not this season anyway.
No, they won't sack him during the season either, Rick. They'll do it in the end of the season.
It's not the same for every team. This is a very different case. It doesn't like if in this instance, there's a long history of evidence to say we've done everything we can to get you the success you need. He just has not done it.
But and Rick, mid-season destabilizing the team's not going to achieve anything. They'll wait till the end of the year, and I think if he goes, he will go.
Unless if it's Chelsea, different story. We're not Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea sack. If someone farts wrong there, they sack him. It's
he's
different.
On too much, Rick. You've got to think about it. He's on £15 million a year. You're going to pay another manager a comparable rate, if not more. Arsenal aren't in that business of just paying managers that don't even work there. They're not Man United.
I agree. I agree that they should sack him.
Yes, we all agree.
I'm just thinking it's going to come earlier.
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one.
So we agree. Arsenal is an A.
All
of us. It's a good window. It's anyway.
Arteta is the problem, but as an Arsenal fan, I agree.
Look, he's the problem, but we can't have this Arsenal rabbit hole where there's always
hypotheticals and
one thing that needs to be fixed. Every year, one thing, and
next year, a line in the sand.
Yeah.
They've changed everything around Arteta to give him the best possible chance.
Right.
There's got to be a breaking point. This is it for me.
So jury's
out. If you get married and you get divorced 5 times, maybe it's not the 5 women. Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
So Arteta is the fulcrum of it all, right? If everything's improved, as Rick said, it's him. Anyway, Aston Villa.
You guys can start.
Who wants to go first?
You go first, man. You go first. You go first. I'm like Ronaldinho right now in that meme.
Oh, Rick. I feel sorry for you as a fan, bro. Honestly, the state of their business and what you've been able to do. Let me go through the list. So you guys got Gusan, I don't think you should have bought him. I think that's a bad buy. It's too early to say, but I think because you needed to work on your back line, I did say that to you. I don't know if I should have went. You would have went there, but he could be good in the future in the grand scheme of things. Like what Chuck said, might take over what Watkins is doing next year. You don't know, but it's a massive hypothetical. It's a long way away, and you're trying to play for Champions League football. That's a tough. I don't know. I would have done it differently, but anyways, Lindelof. I don't know what you're doing with Lindelof. That's just Man United garbage. Another shit player to sign. Bizot, I think Bizot was a good pickup. He's a good keeper. He's coming from Brest. He's a good keeper. Sancho, I don't want to go through the whole list, but I just think overall your transfer
not
business
a long list, Jay. I don't go through the whole list. You're acting like as if they did beat you at Chelsea.
Yeah, I know. It stops at Elliot. So Sancho, I don't know. Sancho, you needed a winger, but I don't know if he was the answer. Obviously, I don't know how much are you guys paying him, Rick. What's the percentage wise?
80%.
Sancho, 200k a year. I've verified about 5 times. 200k a week. 80% of his 250.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. All
Chuck,
right. Yeah. Anyways,
I'll give you everything up. But anyways, 400k a week.
I'll give your business.
Nah, it's 160.
Rick, I'll give your business probably. I don't know, C minus. I wouldn't go any higher than that.
I actually would have gone worse than that, but yeah, okay.
A D max, but C minus, I'd say.
It's an F for me.
I just think, not much you guys can do there. Obviously, limitations PSR, unlike your friends from up north. But we'll get to that a bit later. I just think you guys are trying to gun for, again, Champions League. Couldn't really do much. Elliot's been a right signing. He's okay, but you just haven't fulfilled. You haven't plugged in the holes at the back. You haven't really improved anywhere there. That's your biggest issue.
We got more than that, but yeah.
No, but your
more issues than that. I'm saying
your right side. You got Konsa and Cash. That's probably the worst right side in the whole comp. It's terrible. You never covered that.
Cash, just because of cash.
Just because of Cash, and you got Konsa doing wrestling moves at the back. It's definitely the worst
side in the top half of the table. Like I think
Jesus. Oh,
you said the whole comp.
Are you
said
serious,
top half of, no.
Are you saying the right side?
Back, the right back.
Wait. Let's go.
The right back. Yeah,
the right back.
I think it's the whole team. I said.
Yeah, I thought so too.
No.
Right.
I said the right back.
That's fine. No, he's not even in the top league.
That's what I'm trying to say. You've got the worst.
He's hopeless.
Yeah. So, geez.
No, Rick, it's definitely.
He's already started firing this bloke. I thought, wow.
Rick, probably outside of Wolves, you guys have had the worst. You've had the worst transfer business.
Very bad.
Yeah,
very bad. Not because
look,
we want to.
On one hand, I'm a little bit torn here with how hard I can go. On one hand,
let it rip.
No. On one hand, I feel for Villa a little bit because they have the same PSR challenges that we've had, and
come on.
We went the last 2 years without signing a player. Like we literally didn't sign one first-team player in 2 seasons.
It was one transfer window. It was January.
Your PSR situation is not where near our problems.
It's
obviously because we've managed it differently, Rick. Exactly, Rick. Because your wages were of a club that's expected to play in the Champions League every year, and you only got there once, right? Like that's not your wage bill's out of control. That's what's caused you the problem. But in terms of the window itself, I have to give it a D. This is the way I judge the window is if I offered you this rap sheet on day one when the window opened, how overwhelmed or underwhelmed would you be? If I said to you, you're signing Gusand, if I said to you, you're signing Lindelof, you're signing Sancho and Harvey Elliott, you'd say one of the 4 is good. One of them's a prospect, which we don't know anything much about.
These guys, they're trying to play for Conference League. That's what I'm trying to say.
If West Ham and Graham Potter did those deals, I'd be like, that's pretty underwhelming for West Ham. What are they trying to do? This is Aston Villa. Aston Villa's trying to go for top 4, right? If that's a West Ham window, that's a bad window for West Ham. I hold Aston Villa at a completely different standard. But in saying that, they've got the challenges of PSR, which have killed them. Like they've sold so many players, which I can't work out what's going on there. Yeah, academy sales, only Chelsea have sold more academy players and reported pure profit. Only Chelsea more than Villa. So their net spend and firepower over the last 2-3 years at least should have been right up there. They should have had firepower. Instead, they're just looking at selling to stay afloat and operating, with shrapnel here. So it's a very underwhelming transfer window for me. In saying that, Harvey Elliott's a good pickup. A lot of teams wanted him. Villa ended up getting him, and he looks like he's reignited the fan base. Everywhere, it's all the clouds have moved now because they signed Harvey Elliott. But Liverpool had so much leverage in that deal. They've negotiated a 25% sell on. They've negotiated a buyback. They've claused the hell out of that move. So upside is limited for Villa on that one thing that they're really excited about. And Sancho, that's hit and miss. He may be okay, but there's more downside risk to that guy. His head's not there. He's on too much money. He's given up. Lindelof, no one went after him. That was a panic. We need a backup. We need someone. The whole Premier League looked at him. No one went near this guy.
Bro, Lindelof is the backup to the backup.
Yes, that's exactly right. So anyway, they moved on a few pieces, which is good. My concern is that their wage bill hasn't really improved for this season. They needed to make inroads into their wage bill. Instead, with these signings, they've added nearly 400k in the last week, and that's not what Aston Villa should be doing. I know they're loans, but two of them, one's a loan, but that's not going to help their situation for next year.
It's not permanent, Chuck.
No. I know it's not, Jay, but Sancho's going to cost them £15 million. They sold Ramsey for 39 million. That's nearly 30-40% of the Ramsey money gone to Sancho to stay afloat and keep treading water, right? That's a lot of money to blow on that guy. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not garbage and he'll fall off wages, but this year there's a tangible cost. It's 15 mil. Ramsey 39. Like, you're undoing some of your good work. You know what I mean? Anyway, look. It's a bit disheartening for Villa. As I said to Rick, if I offered him these signing day one of the window, he probably would have punched me in the face. He would have said, "What is this garbage?" So how can I be positive about this window, let alone Rick? But Villa have a lot of issues, notwithstanding the start to the season, which has been a little bit toxic and very, very flat. So, this is one to watch. I think for a lot of people, the game at Everton is going to be a massive game on day one.
Yeah.
And, you don't want your old mate Jack Grealish to continue his hot streak and put you guys to the sword. I don't know. A bit of doom and gloom for Villa. I want to hear Rick's positivity because I can't see it.
How much leverage or how much leeway does Emery have if they don't pick up points at Everton and then the game after that? Huh?
Emery's fine. I think Emery's fine because
but dude, they've got 1 point out of 9 the first 3 games, dude. They want to.
Okay, but
it's too early, but still.
Change quick. The only positive I will say for Villa is I'm going to look for positives and give a balanced view before Rick jumps in. They kept the nucleus of a good team together. They still have Watkins. They still have Rodgers. They still have Tillemans. They still have Konza. They've got a good spine, good players who are proven they can go on a run and push the top 4. So if I'm going to look at the positives, I like that. But signing Anana, Matson for nearly £95 million in a PSR problem is not good. Daniel Malin, who I'm surprised doesn't play more, he's further got to juggle, players into his position now. So I don't know what the strategy is at Villa Park, but to your point, Jay, I think he's got enough credit in the bank, but for how long? How long does Emery want to be part of this? Because when the season unfolds, there'll be some sackings at big clubs around Europe.
Yep.
And all it takes is someone to pick up the phone and say, that's someone it's not moving in the right direction.
Man United could become knocking in
Could
January,
be anyone,
dude.
Jay. Could be anyone. It could be Man United. It could be anyone, right? So that's what Villa got to worry about as well. So they've got a lot of fires to put out at the moment. So anyway, over to you, Rick. I'm curious to see how you...
On the window, I'm not going to lie. I've been disappointed, but there is a reason behind the disappointment. It's not because we want to do it. It's because that's all we can do. Unfortunately, we're limited to everything we can do, which is the tough part. I didn't want to sell Jacob Ramsey, but I understand why they did it. And it seems like the dressing room didn't want it to happen. So, again, for me, that's a loss. But, again, he wasn't a huge... It's a loss for me because I like the way he plays and he's Villa through and through. But I don't know if he's going to make that much of an impact in terms of loss for us because... They really rate Gasson. I think Gasson's more of a ball carrier than... he's the same sort of figure in terms of ball carrier. He's more like a Rodgers than Ramsey. I don't know. He seems like to be the direct replacement for him. I don't know. Time will tell. But if I sort of just look at our outs, I'm looking at a list that's longer than my son's daycare center list. There's like 20 people that we've got rid of. Ramsey, Coutinho, Mourinho, Kankas, Hayden, Bailey, Barry.
We should have got rid of
Dobbin.
Martinez, Rick. That was a big one.
That's the big one there.
We tried. So I'll touch on that. So Martinez was a big one because he went around the whole summer saying he wants out. He made it publicly known. Emery acknowledged it. We just couldn't get the price we wanted. We're not going to sell him for 10 mil. We wanted 30, which no one wanted to pay. And Man United came in a few times with a loan or whatever rubbish they offered. Didn't work out. Personally, I would have shipped him off to Saudi or Turkey.
Why didn't you just but he didn't want to go. Why didn't you just take 15 mil for him? Get him off.
What's his wages? 150?
It's a lot of money.
He's 200k for a keeper, bro. That doesn't want to play. That's huge.
The one thing I will say now is the window's over. Things have been settled. People know where they are. Because the first 3 games, people didn't know what they were coming. They're going. They're leaving their coats. They're going to pick it up. This guy's going for the dressing room, a big leader, talking rubbish. It's not a good sight, right? And Emery's obviously the team sort of failed from that. What I would say now is now that's settled, Harvey Elliott and Sancho coming in. There's a little bit more depth and attack and options up front. Are they world beaters? No, but I know Sancho away from Chelsea and Man United. He played in the Champions League final about 2-3 years ago. He looked okay then. Going to Man United is not something I'm going to measure him on because that's a mess. Going to Chelsea is even a bigger mess. He's got 28 people in front of him. So they're 2 environments I'm not going to sit there and judge him on. Is he going to be a world beater? Probably not. Is he an option? I think the Emerys can get something out of him. And I want to see what happens now with a settled squad because the first 2-3 games we played, not good. So if I go through the list, Harvey Elliott is positive, but it's clamped down. Chuck's right. There's a lot of clause in that deal, but again, we've got no power to negotiate. So we had to take what we could get, and that's probably the best we could get given our circumstances. Marco Bizot, I really like, but he's a backup keeper. Again, is he going to play? Are they going to punish Martinez? I don't think they're going to punish Martinez. He'll just be integrated and probably get flogged in January. That's probably what we're going to do. Lindelof.
How's that for the dressing room? How's that for the terraces, the Villa faithful in the crowd?
I think they've turned.
You already got a bit of negative energy. Do you really want more? That's ended up what happening with Isak. You know, we didn't want to sell. We took a little bit of a discount. We had to, and he had to go. You guys should have taken the 15 mil. You wanted 30. Someone offered 10. Give us 15. Move on.
But we want to sell.
You have to wash it.
We don't want to keep him. That's the difference.
But the problem is you wanted 30. You wanted 40. You wanted a big coin for Martinez, man. You know, you should just wash your hands.
He's not worth 15. That's the problem.
I know, Rick, but what are you going to end up selling him for, you reckon?
Cancer 20? To the locker room, 10?
Man. Is it going to kill your locker room?
Well, they reckon. Well, like I said, he's in Argentinian camp. His head's screwed on apparently. Let's just see when he comes back what happens because clearly he's not going to hang around this year for much longer than this year. I can tell you that. It's just mental. That part of our dressing room is absolutely mental.
And Rick, for Sancho as well, he won't be starting because you have Rodgers on the left and you're spending about 160, 180k a week for a guy that's going to be on the bench. I know it's for depth wise.
But they've got a lot of comps. They've got a lot of comps.
Yeah, we're in multiple comps. I'm not worried about that. Well, I think if you look at everything on paper, Watkins, Rodgers, Harvey Elliott, Malin, Gasson, Sancho, even Buendia, there's enough there to kind of get something out of it. There's got to be goals in it, surely. There's not no goals in it. Like for example, if I look at Newcastle's wingers, I'm not touching any of that. Just maybe Gordon, but the rest of it can go over there. That's my that's my point of view.
Rick, domestically you'll be okay. It's when you start playing Europe.
We're playing Europa, dude. Europa's different.
That's what I'm saying.
League. It's like a step down.
Well, your Champions League run last year's the same as Europa now. That's what I kept on saying. You're playing half the teams again.
It's only a couple of teams, but we made it to
the easiest run ever. Yeah. How many times are you going to play Basel and Young Boys? Bro. Like, what is this?
We made the quarter. We made the quarters, and if I'm being honest, we gave them a better run than Arsenal did. PSG.
You did.
Okay.
So
I agree with that.
We have 15 minutes of the game.
If it wasn't for Donnarumma, we would have gone for the semi-play.
Arsenal, PSG were on edge, thinking they were out versus Villa.
Bro, they didn't get that 20 minutes.
Bro, they beat you in both legs. Yeah. Both done. We won at Villa Park. That was the most I had seen them under the cosh whole campaign.
Yeah,
that was very edge of your seat stuff. He was biting his fingernails on the sideline. He never had that feeling versus Arsenal. It was always, we've got it under control. I agree with you, Rick. Anyway, go on.
See, Jay, even he agrees with me, and he's always against me. So that's the first time.
Okay, now I'll watch leg 2 of the Arsenal and PSG game. That's fine.
Did you win any game?
No, but we pushed them on the second game as well. I can say the same thing.
Jay, we were coming back.
You had 20 minutes. Deficit. You had 20 minutes of playing well.
That was the whole second half.
No, it wasn't the whole second half.
Jay, you only need 20 minutes to destroy a tie.
But they didn't win. So what's the difference?
They won the game.
Yeah.
But they still lost. But it doesn't matter. They got smacked in the first leg.
They won the game. They won the game, and after it all ended, even the coach of PSG said the trickiest part of the whole campaign was that Villa tie. Going to Villa Park, dealing with Aston Villa, the crowd, the team, we buckled. They had never buckled like that.
Are we giving accolades to a team that played well for 20 minutes? What is this?
But you never got to that level within it. The whole.
We went to semi-finals. What are you talking about? Who cares?
Versus PSG.
Okay, we versus Real Madrid. They won the comp last year, regardless
Real
of how
Madrid were a mess.
They signed them.
Yeah.
They got Mbappe's.
Anyway, that's fine.
Whatever.
They were a mess. They won nothing last year. What did Real Madrid win? What did Real Madrid win?
I'm saying they're not a worse team. Actually, the team got better technically on paper. Mbappe, they had Mbappe, dude. They signed Mbappe.
This PSG team demolished everybody. Look at the final. They won 5-0.
They were the best team last year.
If Barcelona was in the final, they wouldn't have won.
Jake, they beat you pretty easily. It wasn't too hard, bro.
The first game, yes. The first game they did, yes. I agree.
PSG were the worthy winners last year. Let's
by a long shot.
And for me, objectively, I've got no skin in the game between either sides.
Yeah.
I felt like the only time I felt like they were going to be knocked out of the Champions League was at Villa Park. That was the only time I felt knocked out. I didn't worry about Arsenal. I didn't worry about Arsenal home or away. They had you. They beat you. They won. They got through. They were at risk at Villa Park. That's it.
Yeah.
In my view. So they got 2 versus 1. It's a democracy, Jay. It is what it is.
Okay, go.
Donnarumma, and then what the funny thing was, they gave.
It's Donnarumma, not Donnarumma.
Or whatever his name is, Donnarumma. You saw the saves. You saw the saves he was doing. The ball was behind him in some of the bloody things. You know, Rashford. I don't know. God knows how many things pelted. Anyway,
Jay, when
Donnarumma
is holding the Champions League man of the match trophy at Villa Park, and you never had that. He never got near doing that for you. That tells a story in itself. This guy's sitting there holding the man of the match trophy at Villa Park. That's their goalkeeper. You know what I mean?
Anyways, doesn't matter.
I agree with
you. It is what it is. That's crazy. But look, at the end of the day, I don't think it's too doom and gloom. I think we need to get rid of probably Martinez, and then I think we're in the clear. A lot of our salaries have been diminished. There's talk, even though Chuck said we added 400k. There's talk we had to, because there's an agreement with Europe. We've got to get it down below 80%.
70.
Well, that's 2-year plan. So we have to get it to below 80. Otherwise, we can't play Europe this year. So it must be below 80.
So how are you going to do that next year without Champions League? Let's just say you don't get top 4. Yeah. Your revenue is really going to come down again, right? If you don't get top 4,
Europe.
Yeah, okay, whatever. But your revenue is coming down, and you're here already. How do you get below that with the current crop of players you've got? What's your strategy? Because you've got a couple of guys that need to be re-upped. Morgan Rogers is on 70k. You know, his mate in the England squad is on 150, 180, 200.
We've already PSR compliant. That's all done.
No, squad cost ratio. You don't want to play Europe again?
If we don't make Europe this year, then what are we going to do?
If you don't make Europe, then you've had a shocking season. Is that what you want?
But
you're playing chess here.
Lindelof.
To be honest, to avoid the SCR charges, I'd probably want to miss Europe the way we're going. Because let's just start again.
Bro, Lascelles is going to be off contract next year. Pick him up.
I've run up with your off cuts. My God.
But you're signing off cuts.
Well, look. To be honest with you, I don't mind the Sancho loan, only because I think if Emery can get a tune out of him, he's a good player. His mindset's all over the place. I agree. I want to see how good Emery is. We keep banging on about all these players going everywhere. Like this guy, he could do nothing. He could do 5 and 5. He could do 6 and 6. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think we need to be given a chance in an environment where he can actually play. Man United, he can't play. Chelsea, look how many people Chelsea have had for the door there. They've got 28 wingers, for goodness sakes. And they can't even make up their mind on the current crop into who to start. So you can't. It's very hard to judge.
It is hard, but
my window for Villa is probably a D-. I wasn't happy at all. But it's a D-, not an F, because we couldn't do anything. And we can't fail something we can't be given a proper shot on. Because I know if we had money, we would not be buying some of this stuff for sure. Harvey Elliott maybe, because I know we've tracked him before. And Gasson we've tracked, but the rest of them I don't think we've even touched. So again, very hard to do anything when you got one hand behind your back and you got one finger to sort of, lay a glove on anyone. So overall, not the greatest.
All right, so I gave it a D. You gave it a D-. What'd you give it, Jay?
I'll give it a D.
Z.
I'll give it a D. It's a D.
Bad.
I said C-, but I think realistically, it is a D. I was just being polite. After you said about the PSG Arsenal thing, I'm giving it a fucking F now.
You can't get hey Rick, hey Jay, we can't get emotional on this chat.
No, we can't. It's not.
Just wait to come to Newcastle.
Kiss the badge.
Right.
Oh, dude.
All right. So, do we want to race through the rest of the comp and then we'll get to Newcastle?
Bournemouth. Yeah.
All right, Bournemouth. I'll go first. Bournemouth. Look, they've gutted their back line. They lost Hyson, they lost Kepa, their goalkeeper. They lost what's his name? The other Kirkes. They lost Sabani. They lost their whole back line. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but they did one piece of business, which was probably the most important. They held on to Semenyo, right? Yeah. Semenyo he's one of the best wingers in the whole Premier League. He's not just a good winger, he's one of the best. And I actually think Newcastle and Arsenal missed the trick to not get him. He would have looked dynamite on Arsenal's left. He would have looked dynamite on Newcastle's right. So we missed the trick on not getting him. But Bournemouth had, because they were flush with cash, they set 75 million pound price tag on him. That's extortion for him. But he's one of the best wingers in the comp. So I thought, they might struggle this year. They probably still will, but they're not going down.
They're playing well.
They're not going down. They're going to be a mid-table team, have good results, some bad results, but they're fine. What do you guys think?
You want me to go, Joe? You go. Sorry.
Yeah, you just hit the nail on the head. Look, they've lost their whole back line. There's not much to say there. Petrovic is a decent signing. He's a decent goalkeeper. Shout out to Liverpool with the Ben Doak selling as well, their junior, like the Scottish guy. Yes. I think Bournemouth picked him up for 20 mil.
25.
Was it 25? Yeah. Look, it is what it is. They lost a lot of players. They're still playing well. Last week last week when the what's his name did the outside? Was it against not Liverpool. Anyways, one of the games where Semenyo and their midfielder killed it. They still got a decent team.
Oh, yep.
It's outside ball.
The Welsh midfielder.
Yeah, forgot his name. Yeah. They still got good pieces there. Brooks, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They still got good pieces there. Again, mid-table. They've lost a lot of guys. They made money. There's not much to say. You pretty much said everything, Chuck.
Yeah. All right.
I give him like a C. Max.
That Diakate from Lille, he's highly rated. He's well known and highly rated. They brought him in, but again, everyone else they brought in, I don't know if they're really upgrades. I mean, Adrian Truffert, the left back, Truffert, from France. He's looked okay. He's done a few good things in the first 3 games I've seen, but again, is it going to mesh with what they've lost? I don't know. It's a very, very big ask.
Curious to see what Jimenez does from Milan on loan up front.
Yeah.
He could be a hit or a miss, but if he could give them a few goals and help them this year. So I don't know. I give them, look, balance sheet wise, A+. They've sold so much, but on the field wise, I'll probably give them a C+.
Yeah, probably C+. Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Brentford, Rick.
I don't know. I'm torn with Brentford because Utara, I think they played a lot for him. Like he's a left back, left wing, midfielder, striker. I think he's played every position minus coaching. So I don't know. Yeah,
Dango. A big goal last week, Rick.
Dango Unchained.
If you ever want to get a kickstart, you play Villa. But Utara, they're 42.5 mil. It's a lot of money, and I think he's their record signing, to be honest. Yeah. Kelleher's good keeper from Liverpool. I don't mind him. The Michael Coyote from Fiorentina, he was rated high. Yeah, he's got some good things about him, and they got Jordan Henderson in the middle, which they needed because they've lost Norgard to Arsenal. So having that experienced middle should help. I think it's more of I think the same sort of thing, C plus B sort of thing. I think nothing too flashy.
Well,
they've lost their best players, man. It's a big.
The best 3 players are gone, and the coach.
What do you mean, coach, captain?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think top goal scorer, second top goal scorer.
I'll give him an F.
Out of everybody that's been gutted, this is like gutting a fish on a boat, man. This thing's been done.
Yeah, I think they're cooked big time. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but losing Wissa and Mbeumo, Norgard, you lost the captain. Like that's huge, and the coach.
Is big, yeah.
I'm looking at the
massive.
It's
the coach is a big one, and then to lose your 2 goal scorers who scored 40 in the Prem.
Yeah, that's huge. I don't know. You can't. How can you recover that?
Big
I don't think Ouattara is the answer to their scoring.
No.
This is for me. This is a bottom 5 team in the Prem this year. This is a bottom 5 team. Whether they're below the line, I'm not sure, but they're a bottom 5 team.
Yeah, it's not much to say there.
Next team, Brighton.
The same window all the time. They sign all these unknowns like Charalampos, Koustolas from Olympiacos. Apparently he's the best. Apparently he's the best Greek winger they've ever produced. From what, if you read everything online, I don't believe it. I've watched him a few times. Maxim De Kuyper from Club Brugge. I like him. I saw him in the Champions League against us a few times.
Yeah, De Kuyper's good.
He's a good signing. Yeah. The rest of them I'm not too familiar with, and generally I'm never am because they purchase people that are kind of random. But they have.
Coppola's all right. He's got a bit of from Serie A.
But they have sold Pedro.
Pedro.
Adindra surprised me. They sold him. S1EP12 to Milan. Tariq Lamptey. So there's some decent outs they've got. So I don't know.
Pedro's a big loss.
Ferguson's gone.
But he only got 5 outfield goals last year.
I was just going to say
the system wasn't amazing for him, but in the right setup, you can see what he is. I mean, at the very early on in the window when Newcastle was after him, Rick was saying, you guys are going to pay 60 for Pedro. Like, it's an overpay. Look how the window's played out. And in the right system, that's what Newcastle had in mind. But that's a big loss for Brighton, you know.
They still got good pieces there, man. Their system, they don't need a big scorer. They can all score. They're all capable. They're always 3 extra every game.
Probably preface that at Chelsea. Look who they've got next to him to kind of...
Yes. No, it makes a difference.
At Brighton, it's a bit... He's between... Anyways, but yeah. So what's your grading for these blokes?
Okay.
Well, I'd say I'd give him. Why they pay so much for him as well? He's 18 too. He's a kid.
He's their record. He might be one of their.
He's the most highly regarded Greek player ever.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
A lot of hype around him from there. But anyway.
Yeah. What I'd give him, the Kuiper I like, Coppola I like. Nothing too special. C+, I'd say, very average.
Same.
Just because also, they've lost Pedro. Again, like you said, 5 outfield goals, but it's a big loss. But their system, they still got Matoma, Minter. They've kept Baliba as well.
Haven't they?
And that's the thing. Still there. When you look at the windows, we're judging based on who's come in and out.
Yeah, true.
But sometimes you also need to look at
who they retained,
who's there, and by retaining some of these pieces, they've got to
huge.
get a little bit of a score. But I think C+ is right as well. That's what I give him. All right, next team, Burnley.
Broja, Marcus Edwards, Kyle Walker. I don't even know. Dubravka.
I think Kyle Walker's going to add all the accolades.
Jaden Anthony.
No, Kyle Walker's got all these accolades. He's going to add being relegated to that list of accolades that he's got. I think this is a D-.
Jaden Anthony is a good pickup.
Sounds like an R&B singer, D-.
Hey, come on, yeah. Jaden Anthony.
His first few games, him and Cullens, but they've been the 2 best players.
Sound like regions.
Yeah, they do. FM regions.
FIFA regions. Jaden Anthony, Marcus Edwards.
Yeah.
Max Weiss. Just needs anyway.
But she Humphreys.
Look, they lost James Trafford, who was, he was a really big player for them last year.
But he hasn't started well for City, though.
Well, he hasn't, but I'm saying in that low pressure at Burnley, he was a big fish, small pond. He could have done Superman for them, in that team, and he was their best player by a mile. So anyway, this is a D-, and I think this is one of the 3 teams of the 3 teams that came promoted, I think 2 of them are going to stay up. This one's going to go down, in my view.
Yeah,
so,
probably.
Anyway, Chelsea.
Yeah, you can go.
Go, Jay.
Chelsea. Let me get it up. Yeah, again, look, they've bought about another 30 players again this summer. So it's hard to rate them because they won't even play half of them. That's the problem.
Well,
but picking up Delap and Pedro and the other 3 Pedros as well, I think that they have improved considering who they bought in the past. Will they replicate the level that Palmer brings? I don't know. It's still too early, but just looking through, they just signed Garnacho 2 days ago. Again, another player that I don't need because they got Gittins there as well. It's a bit of a waste buying 2 left wingers again. And then Estavio on the right wing as well. I'll give him a B+. I'm not giving it too high because of how much they spent and how many players they bought of the same position.
But Jay, their net spend was almost 0.
Yeah, because of the young guys. They're selling
very well.
Who they've brought in, I'd say it's B+. outgoings, obviously an A. They're the number one, A+.
They're getting 20 mil for Brozier, for goodness sakes.
Overall, I don't know.
Madueke is another one. That's a huge one.
Overall, I think they are tied
window
with Arsenal for the second best window. I can't split the two, only because they had no net spend. Their squad looks better 2 months than it did 2 months ago. Yeah. They look like they've got better pieces now. You know, João Pedro and Delap are an upgrade on one striker. You know what I mean? So automatically they've got a little bit more there. They've got some wingers. You know, look, Giddens, I don't know what's going on there, but that's a Madueke swap, basically. Yeah. Garnacho, a year and a half ago, if you said Man United are going to get rid of Garnacho for 40 million and Chelsea's going to buy him, I would have said, what's going on at Man United?
Madness.
Garnacho's, there's a player there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Can I just say there's a caveat with Chelsea who they buy. They never really buy proven established players. They always buy guys 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, of course. That's the strategy.
Delap is still not.
Yeah, but they're at the top
proven.
they're at the top of the tree for that. Do you know what I mean? They buy premium potential.
Yeah.
They don't buy.
Yeah, but how many have they bought over the last 3-4 years that haven't become that outside Parma?
Look what they bought. They're Pedro, Estavio, Giddens, Nacho. Yeah. That's top of the food chain there for potential.
And in that market, Jay, which Newcastle are trying to compete with them, and we've seen what's happened. Liverpool tried to compete with them 2 years ago when they went after Caicedo, Lavia. They were rejection FC. Liverpool, Chelsea got all of them in that market. Where they're just on the cusp of being something, these guys are market leaders. They nail it.
No, they do.
Because they're so young, they end up selling them as well, right?
Yeah.
People, they don't lose their value because it's the Chelsea system. There's too many players and there's a potential and people still keep picking them up. Yeah. What I'm saying is I think it's a really good window. I think we all agree when we'll get to it. Liverpool's the best. But Arsenal, Chelsea are probably tied second. This was a very good window for Arsenal, for Chelsea. They didn't spend anything. They flushed out some players that weren't fit for purpose, and they brought in a new set of players. Estavio he's 18. Amazing. He looks good.
Yeah.
Right? He looks very good. Pedro looks good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just those two guys alone look like really good signings. You know
which one that we haven't mentioned that I really want to see how he goes is Jurel Hato. He's really, really highly rated.
Yeah, he's highly rated, but let's see how he goes, right? He hasn't done anything yet. Yeah, he hasn't done anything yet. Yeah.
Which they need.
CB or left back, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how he goes. I actually was dying to pick him up.
So for a zero net spend and to refresh and do what they did, very good. And if you're going to commend them on incomings, like we said, their sales have been 5-star.
Yeah.
They have got every dollar out of every player they got.
Yep.
That's right. Yes. So I don't know. I give them an A. I think they're a good window.
Great.
I think from a rival standpoint, bringing people in, I just think it's rinse and repeat. Like you said, every year they will sign all these guys, and the next 2-3 years they flush them out. They're not hitting on these guys to become their, like Parma. Parma's one out of like 40 buyers. You know what I mean? They're not hitting there. That's the only thing.
Jay, with this
but
model,
their business is good, but they're on what they bring on the field is not.
I know, but what the thing is, because they're still always going for that cream of the crop at that age group, if they keep doing it every year, all they need is 1 or 2 to hit out of every cycle. Yeah. Esteval looks like he's going to be the crop, right? He looks special. He's 18. He's amazing. João Pedro might be another one that hits. Like João Pedro and Isak, there's a lot of similarities there. They didn't look amazing at the previous club, but this might be the stage where they take off. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, what I'm saying is if they get 1 or 2 every window, even forget the numbers, and they keep adding 1 or 2 good players to that team who are young enough, they're just going to get better.
My biggest concern is what we're discussing is all attackers. There's no midfielder in there that I'm really impressed with.
That's their weak link. That's their weak link. Defense.
But they've already spent 250 mil on the midfielder rig. Enzo and Caicedo.
Are you happy with that?
No, I wouldn't be. That's my point, but they're good at business, but what they bring on the field is
what we're praising him for is basically attack. There's nothing from a midfield or defense perspective. Minus Jurel Hato, which I'm like, wow, these guys are really making a move because that's their weakness. Anything behind
almost
Parma.
The polar opposite of what Arsenal are doing. Arsenal load up on defenders. These guys load up on attackers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're almost on the mirror image of each other, but I think you've both done good business. The difference is they sold so much and sold well.
Killed it.
You guys got rid of peripheral pieces, Jay, but you kept your assets. You kept players that are contributing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
And
the players that we have, our youth players, we're holding on to them.
Yeah.
Waneri and Lewis Kelly, you know what I mean? We've already sold
and
the
Max
players
Dowman.
that we didn't want.
These are the guys that I think are going to save Arteta because you've got Dowman, now Waneri, you've got Skelly, Saka. These academy players are the ones that could be saving Arteta because they're really good. They're really good. All right, let's move to Palace because I want to get to the you know who.
Palace. I'll just say, look,
wow,
they lost Eze and Pino. I think Pino's a good pickup, but I'm not sure how much that will cover in terms of a output.
He's not Eze replacement.
He's not. His output's not great when he's at Villarreal, but he's a good player. So look, they've lost Eze, Eduard as well. I don't know. I'd say C+.
Eze's a big loss.
Eze's a huge. That's a huge loss.
The problem for Crystal Palace is they've got a really good coach, which we've alluded to a few times.
Mm-hmm.
He's come there. He's very ambitious. He's seen Elise go. He's seen Eze go. And he drew the line on Guehi, right? And he just basically said on deadline day, you get rid of him, I'm walking.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that was silly.
No, not at all. Why? For him, from his point of view, not at all. Why?
Why? Because they've got 12 months to go. He's not going to re-sign.
But but I'm saying from Glasner's point of view, Glasner's got 12 months to go on his contract.
No, I know, but so does Guehi.
Yeah, I know. But so Glasner doesn't care. Glasner cares about this season. But Parrish, the smart ass, because he was finally put in his own snooker position. Because if you lost Guehi and Glasner walked, that team from looking like a decent team overnight turns into what a Palace going to do.
No, what I'm saying is I think Glasner snookered him a bit because...
Yes, he did. Of course he did.
He did from that perspective. But from a sell perspective, this guy's, you could have collected 35 to 40 mil. Now he's going to be a free.
I agree,
which is
but we're not
ridiculous.
Looking at it. We're not looking at it from that point of view. We're looking at it from the point of view of how good they're going to be. They've held on to Guehi. They've got Glasner still there.
And they signed Campbell, the young centre back.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm saying, and they've still got Mateta. They've got Wharton. They've got pieces. Munoz.
Yeah.
They're still a decent team. You know, They're definitely not a bad team. So they held on to a lot. But Eze's a loss. They lost Eze, but it could have been disastrous if Guehi and Glasner walked out. You know,
lucky.
Yeah. So I don't know. I give them. I don't know, man.
I'd say like a C max.
C. Yeah, C plus because they held on to the two players.
Yeah,
and the coach. Everton.
Yeah, I actually liked some of their business. They got Dibbling for 40 mil. They got Jack, which I know you guys don't like, but I think he's done really well.
On loan he's good. On loan he's good.
Who said we don't like him?
No, we don't say.
Have you heard what Chuck said? My God. Anyway.
Yeah, but for Man City, 100 mil for him, his output's terrible.
But it was never the right fit for him. Trust me, he's a good player in the right system. And look what he's done so far.
All right.
Anyways, so they've got Dibbling, they've got Grealish. Barry from Villarreal, he looks pretty raw. He's a striker. I don't know what to make of him yet. Drewsby Hall, I'm not a fan of Drewsby Hall, but again, he fits the Everton mold. He's a bit more of a workhorse rather than any quality. Alcaraz, Chuck knows him more for what happened last year, the last game. Nice little header. The rest of them, I don't know. Nothing too much to sort of praise about. I think with Jack, Dibbling, actually Drewsby Hall's been really good for him. I think they've had a decent window for their requirements.
They still held on to, and then they held on to what's his name? The back.
Mikalenko.
No, the back.
Braithwaite. Yeah.
They got Tarkowski. They got obviously the goalkeeper Pickford, plus a very English flavour. You know, with Dibbling and Grealish. You know, and Drewsby Hall. Yeah. He knows what he's going to get out of these players in the dressing room. He can communicate to them. They're going to work hard for him. They're going to be a tough team to beat. And Everton could be a surprise packet this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Grealish has got a 12-month finish line. He wants to get to the World Cup. He's got a carrot in front of him like he's never seen before in his life. And he knows this has to be the best year of his career. This has to be the best year of his career. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So this has to be his best year of the career, and Moyes is going to give him the platform to do it. So far, he's looked good, right, in that team. So
I heard something yesterday about Grealish, and it's probably worrying me a bit. It's his last year, and we're connected to him again for next year. It's a freebie.
Yeah, but he's in his last year contract anyway. Really. You're not going to.
I know that's what I want to buy him.
You're not going to sign him for 250 again, 250 a week again. He'll be like 150. He's 30 years old.
He's a free agent. He's going to get good money. He's not going to offer a discount. He's going to get good money. And to be honest, if he has an amazing year, he's probably going to stay at Everton.
Maybe.
You know,
what's an amazing year? What's the output, Rick? Because I know Rick reckons he can get 10 and 10.
No. I think he gets 10 assists.
I think he needs that. He needs that this year. He's never done it in his career.
Never.
He had one good year where he got, I think, 8 and 10 maybe, or 8 and 9.
6.
8 and 6. He needs to better his best ever year. And Moyes is going to give him the platform to do that.
I think he'll come close. So he's got 4 assists already.
He could, yeah.
So what I'm seeing in Everton now was the player I saw at Villa. This is not Man City Jack, not even close. He's taking on people. He's drawing defenses to the wing. He's cutting inside, mate. Trust me, this is the old Jack. This is what you want to see. So let's see. Who knows?
That's right.
What are we rating him? C plus? With Jack, it will be a B if he ends up.
I've got a B minus for Everton.
Yeah, B minus. You can live with that.
Yeah, B minus for Everton.
Fulham.
Fulham, bad window. Well,
they lost Pereira. No, they lost Pereira.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything of note. They were like, this is Villa 2.0. They had a really poor window.
Kevin,
and at the 11th hour, they signed Kevin.
Yeah.
Like, who's this Kevin from Home Alone? Like, what is this Kevin from Shakhtar?
But there's always these random Brazilians from Ukraine.
I know. But what I'm saying is, this is some Brazilian agent that's picked up the phone to Marcos Silva and said, "Mate, I'm looking at your window. You need this guy." And he said, "Send me a YouTube mixtape. Bang, I'll sign him."
Well,
that's what's happened here. This is nothing. This
you know
is
what
nothing
they said on
here.
Sky Sports about him? So they interviewed. They said, "Do you know much about Kevin?" And I forgot who. I think it was Sam Tighe. And they said, "You guys, I don't know much about him, but I do know the youth team coach that they sort of coached him in Brazil. They said he's the best one-on-one street baller we've seen."
Street baller.
Rainbow. He called. He goes. He's got a plethora of rainbow flicks.
But don't be surprised in 12 months' time he's playing futsal in Brazil.
Probably.
I don't know who this guy is.
JJ Kocha.
Seriously, he's gonna be playing on those steps.
You can find about 1,000 of them that can play like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Someone's made money out of this.
Yeah, not a good window. Not a good window.
Anyway, all right, yeah, bad window. So I'll give him a. What did I give Villa? D. I'll give him a D minus.
Can you consider how much they spent on him?
Yeah, I think this is this and maybe Wolves are the only two teams that I think are worse than the Villa window, but that's bad. Leeds.
Jesus.
Let's fire through this. Look, Leeds have spent some money.
From
nothing really impressive here. They got Longstaff off us, who's a schemer. He's a bottom half of the Premier League player. He's going to do a job for them. Bijol was a signing. Anton Stack, I don't know much about him. Calvert-Lewin.
And the goalkeeper, Perry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, Leeds are going to be bottom 5.
Very average,
very average
window.
team. They're going to be tough to play at Ellen Road because of the crowd, but away from home, they're going to be capitulating every other week. So anyway,
Daniel Farker doesn't really spark me with confidence either.
This is not a good team. Leeds are not a good team.
No.
Liverpool, I mean, look, the less said, the better.
A+.
This could be the greatest window we've ever seen from a Premier League team. You know, this on paper, you've signed strikers, you've signed flaring attacking midfielders, you've signed dynamic fullbacks, you even got a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You know, that you got also Italy's next wonder boy in Leone, which half of Serie A wanted, but no one can pay for him, and Liverpool did. You know, from Parma.
And they flogged off.
And they made some big sales.
The Diaz and Nunez.
Diaz 65, Nunez 56, Kwanzaa 35. You know, Doak 25. They even got Trent they even got 10 mil from Trent, who was out of contract.
Yeah.
Look, you know, this is a great window from Liverpool, and I hate to say it because I'm obviously a Newcastle fan, but you know, the biggest signing of the window and the best signing of the window is Isak. You know, for me. You know, he's a difference maker. He's going to hit the ground running.
Walter Messi. How could it be?
I thought it was Walter Messi as well.
I mean, let's be honest.
If
you guys could pick one player this window that was on the market that you could have signed, if you both don't say Isak, I don't know what game you played.
That was the problem.
Okay, he wasn't. That's the whole thing. That's a different story. But I'm saying if you can buy one player, Arsenal, you would have loved Isak, and Villa, if you got rid of Watkins, you would have made 50, 60, and you would have loved Isak because you're a top 4 contender straight away.
Yeah.
Like he's the best player on the market. He got it, but let's see how he responds to a new setup, a new team, the financial pressure of the fee. like I don't think there's much of a chance of failing. He's too good, but it's a big signing for Liverpool.
But how many goals are they going to score? They already score plenty of goals now. It's only one ball. They need to. They haven't improved their back line. I don't think they have.
That's their weakness. Yeah. That's their weakness. Holding midfield and defense. There's too many holes there. And Kirkes, he hasn't looked good at the beginning. Like maybe in Bournemouth, but at Liverpool, he has been lost.
Konate, I don't know. Just I aside from the attackers, that goes without saying. How they're going to play Ikatike is a big one with Isak. You can't spend 80 mil and not play him, right?
Of course. Yeah.
You got Isak. He's not. The theories of him playing on the left, I don't think he's going to play on the left. I just can't say that. It's just he should be in the middle. He looks fantastic. He's been the best striker in the comp the last 3 games. So I don't know how that's going to work. There's only one ball. Just remember that. It's like in NBA when they were making all these super teams. Yeah. It's the same sort of thing, right? That doesn't mean if you sign all these strikers, doesn't mean they're going to do well.
On paper, it looks amazing, but the game's not played on paper.
Yeah.
And teams with better balances can cause them a lot of trouble. And they're the only caveat for Arsenal, the only get out of jail card for Arsenal or path to win the title is Liverpool's defense. Mm-hmm. Right? If they lose Van Dijk, who still, I don't think he's as good as he was before. He's on the way down.
No, he's 34, man.
Yeah, exactly. If they lose him, the
whole line
teams are going to run in on him. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be an easy thing. The only other thing is that they've got 9 points. They're off to a flyer. They're already 3 ahead of you, Jay. And basically from here on out, you got to crawl back 3. Like that's what's annoying me about Newcastle. We've played pretty well. We're on 2 points. It's not a good start.
Yeah, I just think if you look at Liverpool, they've got one of the worst goals against in the comp. Aside from the last weekend, the first 2 games they conceded 4 goals. That's going to be a telltale sign for the rest of the year. I believe, because aside from Arsenal last week, we didn't play well. They didn't play well, and they had to score a wonder goal from 35 yards out. There's nothing there for me to say.
I agree.
But again, Isak, how much they've spent? They spend 500 mil. You don't expect them to improve if someone spends 500 mil. You expect them to improve when they spend 500 mil. They've spent Wirtz. I think Wirtz. Everyone needs to be a little bit more patient.
He hasn't started well.
But the price tag can be a big hamper on players, especially Isak. Isak now has had all these issues, and they spent 135 mil on him, 130 mil. What happens if he doesn't return that? I think he will. I believe he will because he's of his talent. He's
had pressure. Like he's played. He's as a young kid. He's played at the Bernabeu. He's played everywhere. Scored goal. Like I'm saying, he's had pressure. He can do it. I'm not worried about Isak. I'm more worried about the defensive frailties of this team. They're not amazing at the back, right?
I think Salah's lost the first 3 games. I think he's lost a step.
That's a big one. That is a huge one. But
he didn't play well against Arsenal.
That could be negated by Isak and Ekitike. Like that's a lot of firepower you've added to this team.
It is. I agree. Ikatike's proven his worth now. He scored 3 goals in 3 games, dude. That's massive. 2 goals in 3 games.
But I'm saying he's a very good player. But as you saw at St James's Park, they had 0.2 xG when Gravenberch scored after 34 minutes. They didn't do much, and then when Newcastle went down in the second half, they scored from kickoff. Like we were asleep. But from then on, they did not have a shot on target until extra time, and we were down to 10 men. So what I'm saying is, a lot of new faces getting used to each other, defensive frailties. It's far from perfect on the pitch at the moment, but the window itself was amazing. Good. Great headline players, all with big upside.
Yeah. Okay.
A+, best team in the window. Yeah.
And who they let go as well. They killed it. Yeah. Nunez, they got a return out of him. It's
all right,
crazy.
we've got to keep moving because I've got to get out of here in about 25.
Man City.
Yeah, Man City. Yeah.
What are we thinking? Reinders, great signing. He's going to be the best signing this year for sure. They needed that plug in the midfield.
What a good deal, man! 46 million for him.
Yeah, Milan as well.
In a window that just was so inflated. He's just such a good player. Right, Nori, left back. He's a left winger playing left back. He's not as much of a defender. Chirk, hit and miss. Like he's gonna, what's Pep gonna? You saw Pep did to Grealish. Is Chirky gonna do the same thing?
I don't know. And he's injured now. I think Chirky as well.
And
he
then
might be out.
Trafford, they cooked us. Like, they took
Yeah.
Trafford off us only to replace him with Donnarumma.
And how bad did he play against Tottenham? He looked terrible.
Very bad.
Very bad.
But Donnarumma's come in. He'll be a good a good goalkeeper for them. But they haven't addressed a lot of the problems that they've got.
No,
so
they haven't.
I
Nothing.
don't know. I give them a C+. This is not an amazing window. Rick?
Yeah, and
sorry, I'm just going back and forth with my boss.
This is more important, mate.
Sorry.
Who you got? On the phone with Vidigiani.
Yeah, I'm just praising him for his great window. Reinders I like. I think that's a good price for him. He's looked okay so far. Last game didn't look so good, but doesn't matter. I think he's done well. Cherky, jury's still out. There's a lot of teams looked at him and kind of bypassed him. Nouri, I don't know. I don't know if his defense is up to scratch for what they need because they're kind of leaking goals left, right, and centre. Plus, Trafford hasn't been great either. Again, to Chuck's point earlier about Newcastle, that back line, they've got brand new keeper, brand new right back. I don't know.
But they haven't improved. Reinders is the improvement.
That's
Reinders,
right.
but that's it.
And Donnarumma. Donnarumma's a good
Donnarumma,
yeah. They've got better in a couple of pieces, but
and they sold McAtee as well for 20 mil. They had a bit of money off him as well. Yeah. So, nothing too special.
They didn't do what City used to do.
Yeah, no, they've lost it a bit.
They've gone backwards. They're not going to go for the title this year. I don't see it anyway. I think they could finish fourth behind Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're going to be a lot of ups and downs this year for City. And what does that mean for Pep?
But
he's on his way out anyway.
One to watch.
All right, Man United. Jeez.
Where do we start? I think they've had a decent window with what they've addressed their attack for sure, which I think should be firing, and they hasn't. But again, that could be down to Amaron and his great formation. But on paper, those three should be more than enough to sustain a good attack.
Yeah,
they've signed Lamens, who apparently is highly rated, but people are calling him the Belgium Onana, which is not that. But I think they got a pretty good deal with him out of that because they needed to obviously replace him. A lot of teams are after him.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of Sancho. Most of his salary is covered. I think they've done well there. They got rid of Anthony. They got rid of Hoyland. Rashford they got rid of. Garnacho. Like they got rid of quite a bit. It wasn't a bad window. I just don't rate Amaron. So
most of them are loans anyway.
I know, but they couldn't sell them. They're very expensive on high wages. So it's going to be pretty tricky. But
yeah,
I'm going to give these guys a B.
A B. Even going by the last three games, I think. Look, Mbeumo and Kuna look good, but they just haven't been. Their output's been terrible. They haven't been able to finish, which is what they signed them for. The first three games, I think. Mbeumo just scored last week, right? I'm pretty sure from memory, and then they had the penalty at the end. So I don't know. Against Burnley, I was watching Mbeumo. He had about honestly 4 or 5 shots where he could have scored, and he's just still not scoring. Yeah. So I think that's still going to be a problem there. Sesko's not even starting yet as well. He doesn't want to play. Like, he just looks scared. He looks like a big cat. So you spend 70 mil on a big striker, doesn't want to play.
No, it's not that he doesn't want to play. I don't think Amarin feels comfortable.
Oh, they're comfortable.
Put him in there. He's not giving him the vibes that he wants it.
Yeah, but the penalty, like you know how you pinpointed last week, the ninth taker, that's him. He should have stepped up and be like, I'm a striker. I need to be first or second.
Did you see what the excuse was?
What was the excuse?
The excuse was Amarim said that he was not. He hadn't played 90 minutes. He's not fit, and he was cramping up. So they didn't want to put him there unless they had to. Yeah. But it's just
a spot kick.
Come on. All I can say is, could you imagine Shearer, Ronaldo, and all the great strikers and go, you know what, put me just in front of the goalkeeper? They'll be biting your arm off for it. Look at Cole Palmer. Yeah. Cole Palmer will give me the
first
ball.
One there. Yeah.
I want it. I'm taking the penalty. I'm not going to miss. It's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can tell the difference.
On paper, United have signed well, but going by the last 3 weeks, they haven't really improved that much. Their output's still the same. They can't score. Yeah. And they got bailed out at Burnley.
Oh,
so
don't get me started on that. But look,
it's decent.
So what do you rate it? What do you give him?
B. I'd give him a B.
Definitely a B.
Yeah.
I'd give him a C+. Only because we've had the luxury of watching. And
that's
why.
Whilst
I think Mbeumo and Cunha are 2 really good signings, they're definitely players that can start propelling you up the table. I've got real concerns over Sesko and this Lammers. I don't know who the hell he is. Like, I know very little about him. You know, is he the guy to solve Man United's goalkeeping problems? That's a huge call.
Yeah.
And Sesko so far, he was all excited to make the move to Manchester United, enjoyed the social media, enjoyed being, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Well, that's all over. Now you got to start performing. And he has not looked good at all. He's just looked like a deer that's a Bambi, like he's all over. He can't control the ball. His passing in Germany was always a problem. Like
out of position.
His distribution was very bad. Like he couldn't link up very well for a big man. But he always had a bit of an X factor. He could do something really athletic and, skin a guy and crack it from outside. And you'd be like, wow, what was that? He can do those things, but he's a project. He still needs time. It's almost hard to judge Sesko today. You got to give him 12 months. But does he have 12 months at Man United?
Yeah. With that price tag.
And that's right. For that price tag, they were probably better off getting that 73 million and go, you know what? We need 2 midfielders. How can I, put another 5-10 on top of that? Go get me 2 50 million pound midfielders, and that can automatically make the team more,
Yeah, the goals will come.
So anyway, I give them a C+ because they are better, but they wasted a lot of money, and I know they're going to have some PSR issues. They're going to need to offload some people. Cue Kobe Mainu in January or next season. If he's not playing, you're going to start getting a lot of teams sniffing around him, and he's an academy player. And he might go. But does Amorim survive to even let it even get to that point?
It's like 29 points in 28 games or whatever it is, 32 and 30.
For me, believe it or not, like I know the Man United fans are really concerned, and they've always been backing him. But the week before the Grimsby game, there was talk of Kobe Mainu leaving the club. And that was the first time I sensed Man United fans go, whoa, what is going on? We're probably gonna lean towards the kid who's our homegrown academy product rather than you. So you started to see the fan base start shifting, and then Grimsby happened, and then it's like, okay, is this guy gonna survive? Do we back this guy's system? The tables really turned on him the moment he went after Kobe Mainu because he's such a big prospect for them. They love him. He's homegrown. That's Man United to a T. So I don't know. I'll be surprised if he lasts the 3 international breaks. So there's one now, there's another one in about a month's time, 2 months' time, and then there's a further one before Christmas. I would be shocked if he's there by the third one. I think
this Burnley win extended it a bit.
Well, better for us. We want him to keep hanging on because he's not adequate. That system doesn't work. He needs to go to a back 4. He needs to put, Casemiro and Mainu there, and then you've got Fernandes, Cunha, you've got Mbueno, and then play Sesko if that's what you want to do. But anyway.
Yeah. What do you reckon? What did you give it?
Me?
Yeah.
I gave it a B. Only because I think Sesko does need time. Again, it's the Gyökeres theory. He does need time to bed in. I'm not that harsh on him. I think it's just, the only problem is the system plus United as a club. I think they're just a very, very bad combo at the moment for anyone going there. Yeah. That's a project of that aspect. So you're not going to really see the best of Sesko if you ask me.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right,
the only thing I will say is, Jay, before we move on Man U, I think Arsenal made the right call. Gyökeres over Sesko. That was the right call.
In the end, established.
There was a lot of conjecture here, there, and to further the point, he never looked like he wanted to own that number 9 role for Arsenal. Yeah. He was a bit of a cat, as you said. And Gyökeres, I don't think he's the Gyökeres we think some of people think. He's got confidence and he'll do some damage this year. Not enough damage to win you the Premier League, but he'll do some damage. Whereas this other guy, I'm a little bit concerned about him. I know he's young, Rick, but Højlund was young, and the problem is he's not going to get the time. Man United are not going to sit there for 3 seasons watching this guy go from 10 goals to 12 goals to 14 goals. They're not going to wait for that. They're going to get shoot someone in, and then he's going to get less time. What I'm saying is he's
Man United is not a project-based club. They need finished articles.
Not.
So that's why I'm surprised they
not.
bought him.
The Arsenal made the right call there, which is further a good point for them.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Fireworks.
Who's next?
Newcastle.
Florida, over to you, Rick.
Rick, I want Rick to go first.
You got to leave at 150. Okay. I don't know. Like, I don't mind. I don't mind their business. It's definitely not what it's been explained to me on chats and on social media. I can account for that a million times over. I think they addressed the depth, which I think is good. I don't. There's a question marks for me of a Voltemade. He's not a target man. He's 6'6", not a target man. He's good on his feet, and I know Newcastle like a target man. Like Isaac did drop deep. He flick ons and all that. They do pump the ball forward. They love the long ball.
You think Voltemade can't hold the ball up?
Not as good as Isaac. Not close.
Yeah.
And he's not renowned for it either.
Yeah.
If you watched more than Drake,
I know. Go on. He doesn't come deep. You think Voltemade doesn't come deep?
He's not a target man, I said.
There's hardly any target man.
I know, but Isak was a target man for you too.
Bro, he's 6'6". He needs to be a target man.
He's not strong.
He's not going to be agile.
Just
he's agile, actually.
Let me get to the point. So Voltemade, he come on late in the scene. He had a good under 21. Is it under 21s he played in the Euros or whatever the comp was?
2 years ago.
He looked good. A lot of people are going early on Voltemade. That's fine. That Newcastle need a bit of a pick me up after the summer, and I get it. For me, Wissa saves the window for these guys to actually, in terms of any sort of assurance, because if Voltemade was the only striker there, I would say could be problematic. Alanga, I'm not going to even start. That I've gone that to death. That guy is. I'll go on record. Good in 4 games. Will show you brilliance of something. It could be world star. Quiet in 10. Newcastle cannot have that for 55 mil. That to me needs to hit. Unfortunately, so far for Newcastle, my theory sits as it stands. He's played okay, a couple of good crosses, but overall, you need to see a bit more from a 55. Ramsey I like, but the problem is Ramsey's a risk. You'll notice everything minus Wissa. For me, a lot of these purchases have a propensity of a risk to it. So what they've done is they've said, look, we're going to go younger, we're going to go with potential, and they're going to back Eddie Howe to kind of get the most out of these guys, which I think maybe Eddie can. But again, Ramsey with us, homegrown, loved the Villa, always in and out of the team, showed glimpses. He needs more from that for Newcastle to justify that price tag. Malik Thiaw, that was a good buy. I think 34 mil is about right. I think that's fine. Their backline, I'm not even worried about. Don't you want to do reservation moves? Lewis Hall for me. I'm not massive on Lewis Hall. I think he's too slow for a left back. Great on his feet. He reminds me of a premium. Actually, shouldn't be saying that, but anyways, I'm not going to go down path. I know
what you're going to say. Premium Matt Target.
No. But Matt Target's good on his feet. He's just slow and he's crap.
Jeez.
But he's got a good left leg. But for me, the either side of the wing backs have to be quick for me. And Livermore is quick, but he has to play right back, not left back.
But he can't play left back. Exactly.
I know.
He's played really well left back. I don't know what you guys are on about.
His first game he looked shaky as not good. Oof. First game.
Yes. Did you see what he did versus Liverpool? Anyway,
Liverpool doesn't have a good back line. They had Szoboszlai there.
I mean, he has to deal with left back. We're talking about a fullback. He has to deal with Salah. He has to deal with Salah. He doesn't have to deal with the left or right back.
Yeah, but he comes forward
in the left back position, dude.
Anyway,
Livermore comes in and cuts and crosses.
Livermore is a good player. Go on.
Livermore is a good, but the problem is he's not good enough to hide Trippier on the right. Trippier needs to go. I
agree.
Yeah. He's like Digne. He needs to go. He's just too old. He needs to go. He's at his time. He's got to go.
Yeah. He's off contract. He's off contract. This is last year.
Well, he's on big bucks too. He's on 100 plus as well. That's the problem for you.
Well, that's good. He's going to come off.
So for me, they got Ramsdale, the relegation king, but I think Ramsdale is also better on his feet. No, but he's better on his feet than Pope. Way better on his feet.
Yeah, but they don't play like that. Newcastle.
I know they don't.
Newcastle's
a very aggressive. Squeeze you, long ball, make you feel uncomfortable. They don't play through the lines as much as other teams do. But the problem is they've got players that do that. That's what these players are for. They're very, very Eddie Howe players, these guys. Alanga works hard. Wissa works hard. Ramsey's very dynamic. These players will suit the system. That's why I'm giving them a bit more leeway. Would I have bought these players? Probably not. But again, for the system they need, it probably suits what they do, And you've got, obviously, the problem is that to sell Isak. That was the biggest conundrum. For me, does the two strikers cover Isak's impact from goals and actually game influence? I don't know. I think Wissa does 3/4 of it. I don't know what Voltemade's doing. Wissa, for me, is the saviour for this window. They didn't sign Wissa. I think I would have asked a lot of questions about their attack. If I look at Newcastle in terms of sales, they've done actually well. Lloyd Kelly, 20 mil. Longstaff, 12 mil. That's good business. You can't knock that. So that's stuff that they need praise for.
Right, it's 14, 15 mil here and there. It's nothing.
Lloyd Kelly is not a 20 mil player.
But then you've also got Almiron, Lloyd Kelly, and Sean Longstaff went for 50 million, Jay.
It's good business. You got to give it to him.
Almiron, Lloyd Kelly, and Sean Longstaff went for 50 mil.
But
those three guys should not be near our first team.
But that was starting
anywhere.
You start 3 guys at 50 mil.
Yeah, but Jay, but that's my
not
point. The
assets.
team is not good. Was not good. We were held up by a few guys that are amazing.
But if you said to me at the start of the window, I'm giving you 260, and you're going to come up with Voltemade, Wissa, Langa, Ramsey, Thiel, my reaction would be fist pumps. My reaction would be questioning, like, what are we trying to do? Because that's a lot of money for that.
Bro, they've spent almost
they're not crap players. I'm not saying that at all. But for 260, I want the 11 to upgrade. I'm not spending 260 on depth. That's basically depth, and you're replacing Wissa, Isaac with 2 players. Alanga needs to outdo Murphy. Murphy got 7 and 12 or whatever it was. He got good numbers. Alanga's never done that. That's the problem. And Alanga did that with on fire Chris Wood. Murphy did that with an on fire Isak. 2 different situations now. But the thing is, like I said, they do have parts to build out the depth. I think they've done very well there. I just don't know if they've got the quality to kind of push on to Chuck's fourth or fifth theory. I don't think outside of looking at it this way, right? The reason why I'm saying they're a 5th best team is because everyone below them has got problems, right? Everyone above them has kind of had a great window. So they're kind of in that middle. If I look at the quality of the team and I dissect the attack, defense, and midfield, I don't think they're a top 5 team. The attack is definitely not top 5. I can assure you that. Only because the wingers worry me. That's the winger. Murphy, Barnes, Gordon's good for a red card every 3 games. I don't know where his head's at. And Alanga, I don't know what he's going to do. I love Wissa. Wissa's one of my favourite players in the EPL. I do like him. I'll go on record saying that. Voltemade, I'm not sure about. So, a lot of question marks there. Wait, their defence is good, though.
He's got to go in 9 minutes.
That's all right.
Oh, right. Their defence is top 5. Definitely top 5. I like their defence. Their midfield, they've got 2 midfielders, which are definitely top 5 players, but their midfield depth is not top 5. That's the problem. So, you've got outside, they've got Joel Linton. That guy should not be playing football. They've got who else they got? I don't even know who else they got. Willock. I don't know who else plays in the middle for you guys besides
Willock, and
Tonali and Bruno.
So my question is, why didn't they buy a midfielder when they've got so many comps up
until
January?
We've got 6 midfielders, Rick. We obviously need one more, but we didn't have time.
Who's the 6?
Well, we've got Bruno, Joel Linton, Tonali, Ramsey, Willock, Miley. That's our 6.
Central?
Actually, they're all central. That's all
Ramsey's
central
more
midfielders.
Further up. He doesn't play.
I know,
but
what I'm saying is
Tonali and Bruno.
Tonali, Bruno, Willock, Miley, Joel Linton. They're all central. That's all central mids.
Are you happy going to Stuttgart?
Rick, we're not. If we're happy to go Stuttgart, does Stuttgart want to take on our attack on counter? Do they want to push up and have Gordon and Alanga launch at them on a counter attack? Do they want that too?
Yeah, but Chuck, you've got.
I'm just
the
saying.
Problem is listen to what I'm saying to you. The window is been good for you, I think, but it's not A+ in your eyes. It's
I'm not saying it's
Rick, they spent 300 mil to make Champions League.
It's too much. To me, what they spend is not what. To me, it's not best bang for buck.
Let's be clear. The net spend was around £80 million.
But the outlay we're looking at, not the net
spend.
Okay.
Well, you can dice it up any way you want. Okay.
Yeah, same.
Outlay's big, but we're in a very inflated market.
Fine.
Sorry, Jay. I know you wanted to go. We're in an inflated market. Newcastle also had the cloud of Isak this whole summer. It was the biggest story, and it affected us.
What's the outlay?
No, listen. Well, of course, look how much we paid for Wissa on deadline day. That's because we're desperate.
We had to get someone. Before Isaac left.
Yeah, I know, but my point is, we look at the targets we went for, and this is where I've got my crosshairs with Jay. PSR affected us. We wanted João Pedro. We wanted Ekitike. How many players did we want to go for? We can't go for.
You spent almost the same, Chuck.
Exactly, because it got later in the window, and teams knew we had cash, so we had to keep going down the list because Isak put us in that predicament.
But Chuck, every player you went for, you landed exactly where I thought you were. The second tier down. That premium tier is not where you should be playing. And it proved me right 10 times over. Pedro gone, Ekitike gone, Sesko
Rick, are you saying that Newcastle shouldn't be targeting Pedro from Brighton?
Look who got gazumped by.
Yeah, Chelsea at the 11th hour. He was almost done.
You think they just said,
Ekitike was almost done as well. They came in and offered the... Anyway, we're going to agree to disagree. You think we should just be shopping here forever, eternally? No, we have targets we want to go for. And our scouting system is pretty good because look where they've landed. Look how their prospects.
You spend 260. If I gave you 260 mil yourself, would you bought this?
The biggest.
Make Champions League.
No, it's okay. Relax. The one signing which I agree with, but I still think there's scope for improvement is Alanga. I would rather have gone and pushed the boat and got Semenyo. That's
if I gave you
one
260 mil, you'd give me this list.
Oh, of course I wouldn't give you this list,
No
Rick.
way.
I've got my own list. But what I'm saying is, no one has to think like for me too. My point is that these players are not bad for us. We need depth. The challenge Newcastle always had was we had a good first team. But the moment someone got taken out of that first team, especially a striker, we fell off a cliff. It was either Champions League aspiration player or Championship aspiration player. And when you mesh them, we always got undone. I'm going to go on record here. There's only one team that I really fear playing in the whole comp, Rick, and that's Liverpool. Any other team, I think we can beat them in the whole Premier League. If Arsenal played Newcastle over 2 legs
you
now...
played against Leeds last week and they should have went
Rick,
up 2-0.
we had no striker. We had no striker.
Chuck, it's the
you
way
can't
of
play without a striker. Come on.
You played against 10 men against us. It wasn't even convincing.
Rick, you had 0.1 XG. But you had no striker.
Chuck,
if we had Wissa there, we beat you. We beat you. If we had Wissa versus Liverpool, we beat them too. We had no one. They had 0 XG, these guys, which made us take even more risks.
The Liverpool game was driven by more emotion than anything else. It was highly fueled.
All I'm trying to say is I feel comfortable. I'm not saying we're winning the title, but I think we're the 5th best team in England. That's my view, right?
Does these transfers prove that?
He's avoiding the question. That's the problem.
What?
The transfers don't prove your
this business, where is this going with you? Like, I get it, it's depth. Is this the 5th best team in your eyes? In your eyes, looking on paper, I'm debating that because I don't think the 5th best team. I'm telling you.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it is the 5th best team.
It can't be.
Okay.
Can't be.
Defense, we're not even going to talk about it. You said it's top 5. Field, Bruno, Tonali, and Joe Linton are 3 of the best mids in the Prem. That's a top 5. That's a top 5 mid.
Joelinton's not a fucking good player, Chuck. He's garbage.
Rick, he's the weak link of the 3, but Tonali and Bruno are top 5. Okay, that's a top 5 team. Okay.
No, we're not there.
Wissa last year was a top 5 striker. Thanks. Finally, some positive vibes. Wissa last year was a top 5 striker. Okay, if you want to have a go, Jesus. If you want to have a go at the wingers, okay, I'm not gonna fight you, man. I'm gonna be like, you know what? There's potential there.
But how can it could be good? Explain to me this, right? Midfield, you need depth. You're playing in multiple comps.
Yeah, I agree.
You need 4 or 5 minimum 4 or 5. You cannot hold the whole season having 2 players, which is basically Tonali and Bruno playing 50, 60 games. They're going to break down. So how can it be a top 5 team, a top 5 midfield?
Rick, obviously the challenges of Europe are going to put us under pressure. But you know what the good news is? Everyone else in the top half of the table is in Europe as well. It's almost like 8th, 9th best team.
Have you seen their teams?
We're all a mess. Everyone's got the same challenge.
Yeah, but Chuck, listen. Let me lay it straight for you, right? Look at the midfields everywhere else everyone's got. I back our midfield over yours any day of the week. Any day of the week because we got depth.
You want Anana in there?
But what's he going to do? We got Tillmans.
What's Anana going to do? What did your midfield do versus us in the first half?
What did you do? What's your attack to against us?
You're at home first game of the season.
Elanga's on goal 1-on-1. He misses it.
Rick, you had 0.0 XG when the guy got sent off. What are you talking about? You did nothing. Okay, so that's the caveat. We're a mess.
Can we go back to the point of the topic?
Nah, he's dismissing everything. That's the problem.
Hang on.
I'm not dismissing.
You've got to be fair, man. You can't be saying
280 million, 260 million on what you bought is not.
It's a lot of money, of course.
It's not Champions League quality.
Bro, I'm telling you, anyone will look at that squad, and I'm telling you from now, no one will put top 5 material on that team. And I'll tell you why, right?
All right.
I'm saying the only reason why I'm saying in top 5 is the rest of us have fallen away. That's the only caveat.
Well, you just bloody contradicted yourself. You said I'm not top 5, but we're top 5 because everyone's fallen away. In one sentence, you contradicted yourself. I'm going to bring up the bookie. I'm going to have a random look at the bookies. Because I think the bookies will have us 5th.
Yeah. But you will be before, even before last season, Chuck, you were ahead of us.
Yeah. And we finished ahead of you. We finished 5th.
What on a Tobash that was disallowed?
All right. Anyway.
Now, this is my point. The semantics. My point is that's great, but you can't be thrusting in our face that this is a top 5 team with confidence. You've got to have some bit of humility.
All right. So where are we going to finish? 11th?
No, 7th.
Okay. So we're fighting over 2 positions.
The big difference.
It is for Champions League.
It's huge difference. It's a huge difference.
Okay.
But can we just say 270 million, does it justify what they bought to stay in Champions League? I don't think so.
It depends on what Waltermart is. For me, that's what it depends on.
But
out of all those signings, Wissa's the save. I agree with Rick.
Wissa is, yes.
He's the saver of this window. He could crack 16, 18. He could do that for us in the Premier League. And guess what? Whether you like it or not, Rick, we're still in the top 5 hunt if we've got Wissa scoring goals like that, okay? And he will get more chances at Newcastle than he ever did at Brentford. St. James's Park is hot. It's going to be good for him.
You're missing a key
But my point is Waltermart. If I take out Waltermart and I put in a 22-year-old Alexander Isak in this window and we spent 260 million, let's just say Waltermart becomes a really, really good striker, right? This window isn't bad. It's okay. It's good, right? It comes down to him. We bought a 23-year-old striker that was courted by Bayern Munich all summer, and they saw him as the Harry Kane replacement. If he's good enough for them to see him as the Harry Kane replacement, little Newcastle should take a punt. And we did, because we had the money and Bayern didn't. They needed a loan with obligation. They couldn't get there. So what I'm saying is, I agree, man. We were on the same page with Elanga. He's a good player. He's literally Jacob Murphy 2.0, but he's 23. He's got a little bit of improvement to go. Let's see what Howe can do with that. Malik Chow, he will replace Shah some point this season. He will be our starting defender. So he will improve us. I like him. He's really good. Jacob Ramsey, we're on the same page with Ramsey. If he stays fit in a good system under Howe, fresh scenery, he might be really good.
Chuck, your numbers don't stack up.
What numbers don't stack up?
If you're saying they're a top, this is what I'm trying to get out of you. If you're saying you're a top 5, if you're saying they're a top 5 team, right? That's what you've said multiple times to me, right? And I've just gone through your 3 planks. Defense top 5, midfield for me is not top 5. Besides those 2, but the depth is concerning.
List the strike forces that are better than us right now.
The top 4.
The top 4 better than you.
And go after that. Who?
Mate,
bro, I'd even put Bournemouth over you guys at the moment. Semenyo.
Bro, calm down.
One player. No, Baltimore's an unknown.
But hang on.
Probably banking on a lot of an unknown.
We got Gordon. At worst, we've got Gordon and Wissa.
Chuck.
And Walter Mata. We've got 3 players there.
You're banking on an unknown.
Okay, take out the unknown. Wissa is the 5th best striker of those teams. And I'll always have a side bet with you, Jay. Wissa scores more than your mate Gyökeres this year. I'll do a side bet with you.
You reckon?
Right? Yeah, I reckon he will.
Well, how would that happen if Waltermar's going to start?
Chuck, Wissa's not top 5.
Wissa's going to start this year a lot.
So I
think it's going to be a change in formation. This is where I haven't even got to, and I need to get away from it.
So you're going to play 2 strikers?
Well, Waltermart will be playing behind. It could be a 4-2-3-1.
You're going to have a 6'6" guy, a cam.
Bro, he's a number 10. There. He plays as a 10 and a 9.
But what was the point of signing Ramsey then? That's where Ramsey's going to play.
Ramsey might not start all the time, Rick. Jay, we got a lot of games. This is what I'm saying.
I guess what I'm trying to
we got tactical flexibility now. We don't have to play 4-3-3. Now we can play 4-2-3-1 when the situation dictates, okay? But just like when Isak came in, everyone remembers the end game. Isak came in, he sat on the bench. Callum Wilson was starting the games. It took a while for him to walk into the team, and then when he finally did, it became his team. Everyone remembers the end game. But that's what happened with Isak. They're almost the same age, same type of player, same signing in terms of the potential and what they could become. So Walter Mata might start. I think he should, but it won't be on day one. Wissa, he'll walk in. He's going to start straight away. I can almost guarantee you.
No, he will. I agree. Yeah. But you've signed Walter Mata for 70-something million, and he's only scored over 10 goals once in his career, Chuck.
It's 65. Yeah, he's a late bloomer. It was all last year.
Bro, he's 24 in February. Yeah, he's not that young.
Okay,
Chuck, what we're saying is I don't know what you're saying, Jay.
He's 23 right now, and all of a sudden he's old. Okay. Anyway,
what I'm saying to you, Chuck, is
how much did you pay for Madueke? 50?
Yeah.
We paid 15 million more for a striker.
Yeah, for a striker. 55 for Elanga.
Exactly. So you're trying to say that he's really expensive.
But what's Elanga's output?
No. We agree on Elanga. Come on, how many times are we going to cover this?
But you brought up Madueke, but
wait, Jay. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the part that I can't get to grips with is if you're going to make a 5th position call, You need to back it up with a bit of substance, right?
Oh my God.
No, you do.
Okay.
You're banking on Baltimore. Listen, you're banking on Baltimore's an unknown. We've established that. We've agreed that.
Yeah.
Okay. You're saying Whistle is a top 5 striker. Fine, right? That's no problem. He's a good striker. You're kind of saying Gordon's going to carry the can somewhere, which I don't know if he can, because last year he was busy.
Yeah, he didn't do great last year, but he's got it in him.
Got it in him. Okay. If I could use got it in him for all half the team, then we'll be talking about very different.
Come on, Rick. He's got 10 and 10, something your boy Morgan Rogers has never done. So
we're all going to take Rogers over Gordon. Come on.
Okay.
Let's just be honest.
He started off amazing, by the way. You go on.
So is Gordon. He's got a red card.
Yeah, he has. At least a bit of passion. Shown a bit of fire.
I'm just saying, so far it looks like the wingers minus Wissa plus the midfield. To me, it looks like there's a few issues there for the campaign ahead, right?
Yeah, because of the Champions League, it's a lot of games.
But you have to consider that when you're finishing
of course.
You can't just say Champions League's different. You got to consider it all.
Yeah, of course we have to.
Yeah, but we already agreed that they've got depth. That's Champions League. We're talking about domestically as well.
But my point is they've got depth, right? But in the midfield, they've got 2 players that are the engines of their team. Yeah, would you agree? That's them. Forget Jolinton. He's going to get a red card every 6 games. These 2 turn the wheel for these blokes, right? They're not going to play 50, 60 games, are they? No chance. They're not that durable. No one is.
Yeah, but how many people have midfielders that have multiple depth outside of Arsenal? What are you talking about?
Liverpool.
Yeah, but you could say they make the same point for your team.
That's the top 2-3 teams.
We had 5 legitimate midfielders going into a Champions League campaign. They don't.
Now Villa's amazing. Okay.
Rick, anyone under top 4 is obviously going to have holes. That's why they're outside the top 4.
That's right.
It goes without saying.
But Jay, you're missing the point. These guys are a Champions League campaign, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make it very clear. I'm going to make it as clear as I possibly can.
You made it very clear already, believe me.
No. The only team that I think can push us in that will fight with in that 5th spot is Tottenham. Outside that, I will back us versus any team and we'll get enough points to get there. So it's a case of 5th and 6th. You said 7th and you're supremely pessimistic. I think 5th. I mean, what are we arguing over here?
But you're talking about a Champions League, Europa League.
If we played Arsenal over 2 legs with strikers now, I won't sit here and say, "Oh, we're done." I'll say this is gonna be a tough game for Arsenal, and I think we can beat them. Jay will think he can beat us, right? And Arsenal's supposed to win the title. So what I'm saying is, if Arsenal thinks they can win the title, and Newcastle with our current team, Bruno, Tonali, Burn, Tau, Botman, Livramento, Gordon, Wissa. We've got players, man. You're thinking we're just junk. We will take Arsenal on. We will take them on. I'm not saying we will beat them. I'm not saying we beat them, but I'm just, Rick, I'm trying to say over 2 legs, right? We're
hard to plug that Isak Kolchak. You're banking on how Isak plays.
Of course, Jay. I'm not saying it, but what I'm saying is you're a team that has aspirations to win the title. You probably will beat us. But what I'm saying is it's going to be close. And that's 2 teams. You're going for title. We just want top 5, 4, right? We're not a million miles away. And it's also, Rick, unfair to judge us after just this window. No, because
you spent $1 billion.
No, because we've got but the thing is we've got so much more financial leeway. Arsenal's the finished article. Newcastle, I can assure you we're going to go again in January and we're going to go again next season.
260 is not small change. That's a lot of money.
How many teams? How much? Okay. It's not a lot of money, but if
it's a lot of money.
If Jay can use the argument, I've got to go. If Jay can use the argument about, well, we need to spend to keep up, Castle can keep the argument. Why can't I use that argument? Okay. So what I'm saying is, Chelsea spent 250, Man United spent 250, Arsenal spent 250, Liverpool spent 400. That's 4 teams. So Newcastle spent 250. So guess what, Rick? We're not an outlier. We're just trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's it. So you sitting there saying you've spent 260, you need to be nailed on top 4. No, all the big sides have done it. You guys haven't,
but the quality of players you're buying at that price, Chuck, it's not the same.
It's a lot of money, man. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. It's of course it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But what I'm saying is these are not bad players. These are players that are Langer 23. Okay, whatever. Chow 24. Ramsey 24. Walter Mata 23. It's the same model. We buy them they've proven something. Can Howe get more out of them? If Howe can get 10% out of all those players, and they come to Newcastle, not only do we have depth, but we've also got players that can contribute and get better. That Howe is the key. Just like Arteta's a problem, Howe has to make it work.
What I'll say to that is a few things, right? How you put the 10% on Eddie Howe and you kind of diminish everyone else's teams, we've got to take that into consideration.
But we know how makes things better, right?
Sure. But I also saw what happened at the second half of your season last year when things collapsed, whenever you had domestic only. Let's be honest with that.
Yeah, right? It was a problem. It was a big
domestic
problem.
only is the key word, right? Doesn't matter about Carling Cup.
Rick. Isak went down for like 8 weeks. Of course we're cooked. Of course we're cooked.
It's because of him you made the Champions League.
Yeah, of course.
So it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah? So my point to that point is, have you really replaced that 11 that took you to the Champions League properly? Don't know. For me, the jury's still out because you haven't replaced Isak yet. We don't even know yet. Ultimate's an unknown. Let's be honest.
Yeah, how are you going to replace Isak?
You can't. But my point is that's a hole up the top. Ultimate's we've established as an unknown. Wissa's good, but he's not Isak. Let's be honest with ourselves, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Again, Murphy on the right. Alanga's there replacing him. He needs to produce Murphy type numbers. Is he? Don't know. Gordon's on the left. He may produce something. Is he producing 10 and 10s as before? Don't know. Again,
but Rick, who
one
would
player,
be
one player. Let's just say, if we
sign
Semenyo instead of Alanga, would you think we're top 5?
But hang on. To Rick's point, who's
just one player change. If you think if we could sign Semenyo and we got rid of Alanga and Semenyo, Gordon, Wissa, Walter, you think that's?
The biggest conundrum for me is I don't know what Walter is going to do, and he's your key signing.
Oh, look, boys, great chat.
Go.
I'm already in trouble. My speech is late.